Hey, my name is Pat McKibbin. I'm the lead instructor in the auto collision department at Metropolitan Community College in Omaha, Nebraska. Before I came to Metropolitan Community College, right before I was a manager of a large collision facility here in the metro area. I had 23 technicians working for me, ran 3 departments. Before that, I have done all aspects of collision repair. I've been a painter, a body man, a frame guy, estimator, pretty much anything in the auto collision business. I'm from the Omaha area, originally was born in eastern Iowa or western Iowa, grew up in the eastern Nebraska area, have been in this area almost my whole life. I did not have a formal education. In fact, I tell my students that I used to cut class all the time, even in high school, so I could go work on cars. It's just what I did. Nobody understood, and they kept telling me that I was never going to get an education, but at a very young age, I knew what I wanted to do. So I just followed that path, and it recycled around, and now I'm an instructor at a college. I always could figure out who the best technician was in the shop and befriended them, and they would help me get my education in the business and would lead me on the path of righteousness as far as collision repair. And I always paid attention to what they did, and that's how I picked up all my knowledge in the collision repair business. Any formal training that I've had in this business has been in the last 15 years. Before that, everything I learned was actually doing it in the shops with a very experienced collision repair technician. I've had many mentors in my life. My father owned a mechanical business, so at a very young age I was in the shop helping my dad work in the shop. I've worked for a lot of different people that were in the collision business or in the car business, and so I've got many mentors, probably too many to name because I picked up a little bit from each one and they guided me on that path to be successful, and I picked up the best parts of each person in the business. I got to Metropolitan Community College. I sat on the advisory committee. I was asked to be on the advisory committee for their auto collision department. We were short on technicians out in the field, and I thought it'd be a good way to get technicians. So I sat on the advisory committee and was on there for a year, and then they had an opening coming up to be a teacher here at the college, and I was offered a chance to apply for the position, and I said, that's fine, I'll apply. It's nothing I'll ever want to do, but I'll consider it, depending on everything involved. And so I applied for the position and then went through all the steps to get this position. And when I ended up being asked if I would like to be the instructor, with a lot of encouragement from my wife, I decided to become an instructor here at the college. I've come to enjoy the teaching aspect of it because you don't realize how good you are in a business or how good you are at something until you start trying to teach it to somebody who knows nothing about it, and you have to explain all those skills that you've just developed over the years. And so it's a great thing to share with students and watch them move forward and pick up each different skill and remember when I learned those skills, and it's very enlightening to watch them. And now my new challenge, it used to be to get a car fixed and straight. Now my new challenge is to make sure it's a better way of teaching the students how to learn the skills that I already know. What motivates me to come back here every day and do what I do is the fact that when a student, what I call it is when the lights come on. When you're teaching a student and you've presented all the information in the classroom, you've had them read the book, you've had them watch the videos, and you present these challenges to them, and they're thinking that I'll never be able to do this, it's way above my skill level. And then when you're cutting cars apart or something like that and you notice the lights come on, their whole demeanor changes, and then they start thinking like, I've even heard them say, I got this. I mean, they finally have that knowledge and they get the confidence level that takes them to the next step, to where they're ready for the next challenge. And as the lights come on in these students, you can just see a noticeable difference in them. And it's my encouragement to get here every day to watch the next set of lights come on. The one thing that I would like students to take away from here is that there's no achievement above your grasp. In other words, you can do anything that you put your mind to if you just reach for it. And then you'll be successful at anything. And you know, it doesn't matter if you do the auto collision business or if you're into whatever, you have to be able to reach for that goal or you'll never achieve it. You only defeat yourself if you don't try. What I've learned from students is sometimes as an instructor, it's the things that I don't think about. It's the small things. It's the way I've acted towards them. It's the way I've talked to them. It's something I've said to them or touched them that changes them for the rest of their life. And I can give you an example that I've had a student that came in as a street kid, wore a t-shirt 10 times too big for him, pants bagging, his whole talking, the way he acted told me street kid. And when I seen him 5 years later, he came in a suit and tie. And as an instructor, it changed my life. And that is the goal of being here. Sorry about getting emotional on that, but that's what drives me to be here. They'll sit there and they'll talk about how I presented them huge challenges, how I wrote them all the time, how I gave them things that they thought were impossible to achieve, and then they achieved them, and we had a blast doing it. We laughed and we joked and we just had a riot, because that's what I do is get them out here, present them with a huge challenge, thinking that they can't achieve it, and then we laugh and joke, and then all of a sudden they can do it, and it's a great deal. It's changed, the technology part of this business has changed for us here greatly, because all of a sudden the things that we used to have to repeat on a daily basis, now students can actually access things either on Blackboard or on from the IT part of it, and they can find out that information on their own. It saves us time from teaching some of the really small basic things. We actually can film our own training videos that we've used in class, and then we can explain as we're doing the filming what we're doing and how we're teaching it, and it's better than any YouTube video or anything like that. The bring your own devices, as I'm teaching something in class and as I'm giving specific names for things, my students are actually Googling those tools. Technology in our business has changed greatly. When I got into this business, some of the old guys that I used to work with, my mentors, they would say, listen, we're just putting cars together, we're not building a church, get it close, it'll be fine, everything's adjustable. We went from that mentality where you could do it under any shade tree mechanic could do auto collision work. We've gone from that part of the business to some of the things that you see behind me, where everything that is done in this business has to be pulled to a 3 to 4 millimeter tolerance. You have to have laser measuring systems, computers to do the business. Everything just, as you can see in the background, it's gotten way more technical. They used to have every car just had a throttle and a brake and a steering wheel, and nowadays they have cars that drive themselves. They have radar systems, passive restraint systems, drive-by-wire, transmissions that shift themselves via computer. What they used to say, this isn't rocket science, we're not building a church. Guess what, guys? It's rocket science, and this is what we do every day. I'm Pat McKibbin, lead instructor at the Auto Collision Department at Metropolitan Community College.